All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing His truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. I wanted to do a quick response video to a video that was uploaded by the People's Voice, which was an article that was shared by the beloved brother, as you see up there, Gabar Ayash, serving Yahweh Shai 144. Okay, and it says link in article below, but you know, I'm not really seeing a link here. Maybe Esau removed it, you know, but okay. Fauci says that, you know, free speech to blame public anger towards globalists, and this is no more than a agenda to really justify shutting down the true teachers who are out there bringing out the 100% unadulterated truth, especially on the highways and hedges, doing videos day in and day out, you know, who are in the temple teaching and basically exposing the wrongdoings, the evil, the wickedness, and the corruption that the so-called elites are doing, who are the heads of the Illuminati, the so-called elites who call themselves Rothschilds and Rockefellers, okay, who are the heads of the Illuminati, in which the Illuminati basically control and pull the strings of these various governments throughout the United States, especially the main government, which is down there in Washington, D.C., where the main puppet leader, Joe Biden, because all these presidents are puppets, basically doing what they are told by the Illuminati to carry out these various decrees. Okay, your Democrats, your Republicans, the Congress, the Senate, the representatives, the House of Representatives, and even the judicial system. They're all puppets who are ran by the Illuminati, who are the lesser puppeteers or puppet masters, because the main puppet masters on this earth right now, ruling this earth in wickedness, is really the so-called elites who call themselves Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Okay, and they see that the Lord's elect around the globe are waking up to who they are, repenting, calling on Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, repenting daily, teaching, you know, and coming back to their Hebrew Israelite heritage. And it scares them. It makes them shaky, you know, and they're losing sleep over this truth, because they know what the Bible prophecies say about the Lord's elect, that in the last days, when the Lord raise up His elect men, right, that will be the beginning of the downfall of Esau's kingdom, which ultimately started back at starting with our apostles of Great Millstone, who separated from One West, and basically, you know, they started going out there teaching, but this gospel really started to spread like wildfire when they went on YouTube with the gospel and started teaching. Because Israelites all around the world, especially the ones who had access to YouTube, who had access to the internet, started seeing these teachings, hearing them and believing them and repenting. Now, of course, we had thousands upon thousands who fell out the truth, because many are called but few are chosen. But what's scaring these so-called elites more and more by day and day that pass by are the elect men who have been in this truth since they woke up and have stood stiffly for the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and have not denied the name of the Lord. Okay, they woke up to the truth. They did not give up. They did not go back into the world, you know, Because see, once you give up and go back into the world, then to the so-called elites, it's like, okay, well, we ain't got to worry about him anymore. But as for those who woke up to the truth and they remained in the truth, they continue pushing the 100% unadulterated doctrine, no matter what kind of slanders or disrespect or lies or persecutions come our way. Those are the men that the so-called elites are terrified of, because they know that one day these are going to be the same men. Some of them are going to be persecuted and beheaded, but there's going to be some of them, like Yahweh Shai said, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming. These are some of the elect standard that's going to receive spiritual power, to basically, deliver themselves, particular women, because these same men which are of the standard that's going to receive spiritual power, these are also the same men that's going to, Isaiah 4:1, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Okay, so because the Lord's not going to give you 20 women with no spiritual power, so you're going to have some type of power to take care of all those women and children, because the large multitude spoken of in Revelation, the 7th chapter, deals with women and children. So, and it's especially dealing with women and children that's scattered amongst these other nations, because the women here in America, they're so far gone. It's like, fuck them. They're not worth taking to a wife. Okay, they can't cook, they can't clean, they don't know how to wash their ass correctly, wipe their ass correctly. They got short hair, their breath stinks. Some of them look like ox, some of them is built like a fucking orc. Some of them are ugly and they got really bad attitude problems. So a lot of them is going to be left. So a lot of the women of our nation here in America is going to be left here to die. Okay, but as for these beautiful women overseas in these different countries, the elected men is going to get those women that are Israelites, okay, that look like the women of the other nations, but their forefathers down the line goes back to the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indian men. So these Israelite men that's standing out there stiffly, continuously pushing out the gospel, spreading the word of righteousness across the globe via the internet, via the unicorn, the elites are terrified of that. And they want it to stop. So they're coming at the Lord's elect at various angles. They're not going to say, the Hebrew Israelites are to blame for public anger towards the globalists. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to say free speech. But, in that movie, They Live, when that man put on those glasses, he would see different words alluding to what the signs were really trying to influence people. Quench your thirst, do this, do that. Well, whenever I look at the word free speech, that word there should really be replaced with the Lord's elect. Fauci says the Lord's elect to blame for public anger towards the globalists. And this is what they really want to say. But you see, the serpent is not going to come at you directly. He's going to come at you indirectly. And instead of putting the elect to blame for public anger towards globalists, he's going to put free speech to blame. He really want to say the elect, because people getting on the internet and talking about blowing rod and shaking their ass and going to the clubs, and that's free speech. But do you think that's bothering the so-called elites? The answer is no. That's free speech. Talking about, you get on TikTok, you get on YouTube, you talking about going to King's World. Let's go to the Six Flags amusement park. Let's go to the Fun Factory. You might get on YouTube, you might talk about walking your dog the next day. You think that's bothering the so-called elites? No. But the Lord's elect, bringing out the 100% gospel, starting with the hopeful the true hopeful elect of Great Millstone, starting with the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the men who follow the same teachings as the apostles of Great Millstone, bringing out the gospel through the internet. These are the men they're after. They're not after the average six-pack Joe, bragging about his accolades of, hunting deer down and putting it on, chopping off their heads and putting it on. That doesn't bother the so-called elites. The so-called elites can make a motherfucker like that a slave overnight. But who they are worried about are the Lord's elect bringing out this gospel via the internet. So the elect to blame for public anger towards the globalists, this is what they're really saying, which brings me over to the book of Psalms, right? If we come over here to the book of Psalms 64, verse 1, it says, to the chief musician, a psalm, which a psalm is a song, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Okay, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Okay, so hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And what's a part of their secret counsel? They secretly want to come after the Lord's elect, but they're doing it indirectly. Using indirect attacks, This is a part of their secret counsel is really to do away with the whole nation of Israel. Okay. They want to kill off all the Israelites, which we know that's going to be impossible to do because you got Israelites that look like so-called white people. You got Israelites that look like Arabs. You got Israelites that look like East Indians, Africans, Chinese and Japanese people, Africans, Hawaiians. Okay, so, you're not going to be able to do away with the whole nation of Israel. Okay. But this is part of their secret counsel, and ultimately it starts with getting those men off the streets. That includes IUIC and all of you other false Israelite groups who call yourself going out there teaching. That includes getting these men off the streets, locking them up, persecuting them, lying, setting them up to be beheaded by guillotines, all that shit, man. So that's all a part of the secret counsel. And then ultimately, because they plan on doing away with the 2/3 of our people, obviously here in America, but they also plan on doing away with the elect. But we know that according to Bible prophecy, which we have a sure word of prophecy, that in the book of Isaiah 59 and 11, the Lord's going to lift up a standard. What did Yahweh Shai say to his disciples? There be some standing here which shall not taste of death. In the book of 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, it tells you that we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. Who make of the clouds as chariots? The book of Psalms 104, right? So you're not going to be able to get all of the Lord's elect. You're going to get some of us. Some of us you're going to persecute. You're going to lock up. But guess what? Just because you lock some certain of us up, remember the story of Peter. Okay, did not the Lord send an angel to get Peter out of prison? Okay, so just because you lock certain of us up, it does not mean you're just going to behead us, because the Lord has who I believe that was Herod the First. Okay, not Herod the First, Herod Agrippa the First. Okay. Oh no, wait. Was that Herod Agrippa the First? I believe that was Herod Agrippa the First, who had murdered James and sought to take Peter as well. So he sought to have Peter beheaded in a public execution. But guess what? The Lord sent an angel to get him out of prison. Okay. So it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Now, you should know who the wicked is by now, okay? Edom is the border of wickedness. Malachi 1 and 4, okay? And we know that Esau is Edom, Genesis 36, verse 1. So hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. And we know that the biblical Edomites today is the self-proclaimed white man, starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. That is the wicked today. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword. Here's an example of them whetting their tongue like a sword. You know, free speech to blame for public anger towards globalists, right? But they really want to say the elect to blame, you know, the Lord's people to blame for the Lord's people to blame for public anger towards globalists, okay? Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And here's your example of bitter words, man. Look no further. Here's your example of bitter words. Free speech to blame for public anger towards the globalists. So that persecution is coming. And all you guys, especially amongst these false Israelite groups, you playing around, you commit adultery, you playing with your wee-wee, and you know, you're saying that we're doing this, we're doing that, and blah, blah, blah. When the time of persecution comes, what will you have to say, man? Okay, what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? Okay? Okay, and what scripture was it? What will you do when the Lord shall visit you? Woe unto you that are lost pay. Oh, that's Sirach, the 2nd chapter. Okay? It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. And here you go. Here's your example of them shooting in secret at the perfect. Because they're saying free speech to blame for public anger towards the globalists, but they're really aiming at the Lord's elect. And, you know, I hope to be of the elect. You know, I hope to be of the elect. You see? Okay. So, you know, free speech is to blame for public anger towards globalists. You know, this is really an attack towards us because they really want to get the men of the Lord. You know, I hope I'm a man of the Lord. They really want to get the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Lord, off the streets of teaching. They want the teaching of the Bible to stop because there's a shift going on in the world that's causing people to think otherwise about their society and how things are ran. People are waking up to the corruption of the government, and people did not start waking up to the corruption of the government really until this gospel started going out to the four corners of the earth. That's when people started to realize, like, oh shit, that's just like the corruption of the fucking woman. People did not start waking up to the corruption of the woman until this gospel, starting with the apostles of Great Millstone, who started pushing this gospel, you know, starting with Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Aryamlab, Apostle Pakah, okay, until they started going out, you know, and preaching the gospel and bringing the truth out. So everyone is waking up to the corruption of this government because of this truth going out via the internet, okay? So that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. So, you know, that's pretty much it. You know, I pray and hope that you sincere brothers and few sisters have been edified. With that, I'm going to say shalom. Is on to the next one.